Our very first experience at Grace was actually when, right after we had first met, we were at one of the Oklahoma City Pride events. And we ended up walking by a booth where some people from Grace Church were and gave us a little card with the church's information on it. At the time, we weren't looking for a church home, but it ended up in the console of my car for either 1 or 2 years, depending on which one of us you ask. We ended up finding that during COVID when we were kind of looking for a new church home and had remembered how welcoming everyone was there at a time when we kind of didn't know if we were going to be welcomed.
We really fell in love with everything the church stood for. We wanted to find an inclusive environment, and that's exactly what we found when we first came here.
One of the areas where our inclusivity is most meaningful is being able to worship each week next to people who maybe wouldn't be welcomed at the spiritual tradition that they were raised in. It can be very intimidating to not know if you're going to be welcomed at a church. And some churches make it very clear who's not welcome. And some churches will have well-intended phrases or terminology, but maybe you're not fully welcome. It's so meaningful to be able to go to a church and have a church home and not have to be afraid.
Authenticity is something which is highly valued in our church. And so one can just come just as they are and feel welcomed and loved and embraced at our church.
If someone were thinking about coming to Grace Church but felt a little hesitant because of negative experiences with churches in the past, what I would want them to know is that a lot of us have gone through some of the same experiences, and I think that's part of what makes Grace Church a very safe place for people who have been hurt in other settings. We're safe to pursue our spiritual journey and grow in our faith.
Our church being there at Pride every year and marching with the people and going out and telling everyone, sharing the news that God's love is for everyone and that they have a home if they choose to come to our church, they would always be welcome. I am not afraid to invite anyone to our church because I know that they would definitely be welcomed irrespective of their backgrounds, irrespective of what they believe, irrespective of who they are. They would have a home and they would feel safe.